What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Brandon, thanks for being here. We got Brandon Scott in the house today
Yee.
from Florida.
Yeah.
Out here for some snowboarding and podcasting and just hanging out with the guys, right?
A little 2 for 1.
I like it, man.
2 for 1 special.
Killing two birds, one stone.
Yep.
So, guys, Brandon is a goat with phone sales.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you were giving me some of the stats. You took a company from 0 to 50 million. You can take reps from, sub 9,000 a month to or 9,000 a year, 9,000 a month,
Yeah.
to over 800, 900K a year.
Yep.
So he is the founder of, what's the name of the company?
MSP, my sales process.
Okay. And you guys are doing how much in revenue roughly?
Between all my clients, we're probably doing close to $12 million a month in revenue.
Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. And you started this in 2019, right?
Yep.
Okay. So let's dive into it, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, you too, man.
So a lot of our audience is door-to-door direct sales.
Okay.
And within that space, I was telling you, solar is going big time towards virtual.
Yeah.
And the more I talk to people, the big dogs, they're kind of realizing, hey, that's where it's going.
Yeah.
And you focus on coaches and consultants and agencies, right?
Yep.
Which is also a huge booming industry.
Booming.
I love that.
It's
So
crushing.
let's talk about what got you into it. You started in sales when you were 12, right?
Yeah. Started 20 years ago.
Okay.
2 decades
33.
deep. Yep. 33. 2 decades deep in sales. I started with door-to-door.
Okay.
I did retail sales. I got into phone sales about 21, 22, doing direct sales over the phone for network marketing companies.
Yeah.
When you start a network marketing business, it's a lot of like 3-way calls. It's a lot of Zoom conference calls. It's a lot of just calls.
Right.
So I got my 10,000 hours in the matter of 4 years building network marketing companies.
Master.
And then my first corporate America job was working at Vivint selling security over their phones in Provo. And that's where I learned the power of marketing. They would spend $250,000 a day sometimes on ads. I saw that from the side view. And then I saw what it was like to take inbound calls versus doing outbound calls. And then I also saw the difference between door-to-door guys banging the doors all summer and how easy our job was in the heated, air-conditioned building all summer long, all winter long. And then I went to Wyndham selling timeshare for Wyndham.
That's when it really blew up.
That's when things really took off
Give
for
some
me.
of the numbers for the audience there. Like you were doing like 40 to 60,000 a month or so.
Yeah, there was 1 month where I made over $100,000 selling timeshare. And that's, back in 2016, 17, 18, 19.
Dude, were you the guy that were locking people in the room like to get the free? You were
Dude,
the guy.
I love those guys because I would call over the phone.
Okay.
Because they would spend 4 to 6 hours in a presentation.
Yeah.
And I was to money in 20.
Okay.
So I was this guy that would call someone up that had been over abused, locked in rooms, and pitched on this deal for 4 to 6 hours, withholding their rewards and like literally holding people's IDs. Yeah. And I would call them in the comfort of their home and say, put your slippers on, turn Maverick 2.0 off, and get ready for a good ride because I'm going to give you the best deal you've ever heard in timeshare.
Nice.
And I just run laps around these guys that were face to face because in the matter of time that it would take, a door knocker or even a face-to-face guy to talk to 100 people, I can do in an hour. I can do more reps. And I think you've got to be frequent before you got to be great.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get frequency in, what better way to get frequency in than using the phones?
Okay. I like that. Yep. Yeah. That 100,000 hours to mastery thing.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
So I ran with that. And then in 2019, started my own business. I left the comfort of a 401k, left the comfort of benefits, single dad, didn't really have a large, I had $100,000 saved up. I was like, okay, this can work, and moved out to Vegas, got a fancy exotic car, started running ads online, and, had my first 6-figure month in January of 2020. And then shortly thereafter, COVID hit. So I had to transition from B2C because, all the customers and consumers were just kind of broke.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go after big checks because that's what I was used to. And so I went after B2B, and that's where business really took off for me.
Well, you and I were both talking about the principle of like how those higher ticket clients can actually be an easier sale than the lower ticket clients, and they're less headache.
Less headache.
What do you think the psychology behind that is?
It's like me. I give $40,000 for coaching, and I'm not a high maintenance guy.
Yeah.
Like, give me my 1 or 2 nuggets because I know that there's no scam in life. There's just lessons and learning lessons, right? There's no losses, just learning lessons. So if I'm going to pay that amount of money, I'm going to find my treasure. And I've done, one example I give on this is I go to Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Conference, his first one ever.
Yeah.
I go to 10X Growth Con. They called me. They didn't have a location. They didn't have a date. But because I was a Grant Cardone customer, they called me for a ticket. Hey, Brandon, it's $15,000 to sit front row. I'm like, well, where is it? We don't know. Well, what date? We don't know. So I go to this event, and dude, I'm a timeshare sales guy, right?
Yeah.
and they sit me next to the number one timeshare exit guy in the US. A guy that runs, I don't know if I want to drop WFG, Wesley Financial Group, very solid guy. Chuck McDowell runs it. And I meet this guy, and, we end up doing a little bit of collaboration. I'm the number one timeshare sales guy, and he's the number one timeshare exit guy.
Yeah.
And I didn't even care what was spoken on stage. Yes, I met Andy Frisella in the VIP room. I met some solid guys in the VIP room, but it was that handshake that really gave me my ROI of 10x on my 15K ticket.
What was it that he gave you that was so impactful?
I mean, he gave me the game of how the sales guys were pitching it the wrong way. He said he basically gave me his angle on why they would cancel contracts and what information they would use to cancel contracts. And then vice versa, I gave him pitches that I've seen on the inside that were dirty pitches that they could use as information, extra knowledge to help their sales guys elevate their success.
Nice.
So it was this really good mutually beneficial relationship where he taught me some of the stuff that they were using as an angle. I started eliminating that from my pitch, really painting a clear picture to my clients, and business blew up for me and business blew up for them. And it was just mutually beneficial.
I love that, Brandon.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So it wasn't even the stage presentation, So that's why I think when you pay a lot of money for something, you're a higher ticket purchaser.
Yeah.
You don't really care as much of the details.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get your ROI.
Yeah.
And I think if you seek and you shall find. And if you're seeking for like, well, when is it going to start? And call me back when you have a date and a location.
Yeah.
Well, you're just giving yourself excuses on why not to do it, not why to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'll put this on a credit card right now, and I'm sure it will come back to me somehow.
Right.
I don't really know how. I trust God, and God's going to bring me the rewards of my labor. And I know that if I invest in myself, that's the surest place that I can win.
Yeah. Well, one thing you and I really jive on is personal development.
Yeah.
Your sales training, you mentioned like 90% of it is personal development.
Yeah.
That is the exact same thing for Excel, our sales training platform.
It's perfect.
It's focused on who you're becoming, right? Not teaching tactics, but teaching transformation.
Yep.
And as you develop the rep
mm-hmm.
and helping them become a better person, everything else flows.
Yeah.
And this is why they preach that, the best salespeople aren't trained, they're found.
That's right.
It's because it's very hard to develop people.
Yeah.
Well,
I think top salespeople come from really disciplined backgrounds.
Yeah, I agree.
So I look for athletes.
Yep.
I look for people that were really good in their fields, like top violinists is a savage closer.
Yep.
A top, I look at water polo. I look at swimming. I look at these hard individual sports.
Yeah.
Sports that are like track and field where it's them against 12 other people. They don't have a teammate that they can blame. Soccer players is where I come from. Swimming, I come from that. And I know on the four-person relay, I could blame the third leg. I can blame the second leg, but when it was just individual medley and it was me against 12 other people in a lineup, you've got to have so many hours put in outside into training and practice that when you line up on the podium, you're locked in and feeling confident.
Right.
Like boxing, man. I think boxers, professional fighters make great salespeople because it's one-on-one sports.
Yeah.
And when you get into a sales conversation, it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's mano a mano.
You're fully accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you look for the discipline. I look for that too.
Yeah.
And, I also look for experience in the form of pain.
Yeah.
They have adversity in their life.
Yeah.
Look for intentional discipline and then, unintentional pain.
Yeah.
And what they learn from that.
Yeah.
And I think a big red flag is if they haven't done something that's been hard, like intentionally, like fitness or with sports or something like that, a career, job. Hopefully they've gone through something hard, whether it's God that threw something on their plate. Yeah. And they've grown from that. I usually see very top level salespeople come from that kind of a background.
Yeah. I mean, I come from a divorced home.
Yeah.
And it was traumatic. It was difficult. It was a very rough break. And I didn't even meet my dad till I was 23. And there was all of this like forced tough times.
Yeah.
And I think that just bred a warrior.
Yeah.
Because now I approach those things with open arms. I look for things to be hard. I'm like, well, if it's going to be easy, I don't even want to do it.
Yeah.
I look at difficult things as an indicator that it's the right way to go.
Yeah. That's how I am, man.
Yeah.
I train my brain to think, if it's easy, I don't want it because all the great things in life are on the other side of something.
100%, man. 100%. Some of the hardest things I've done felt the best.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know the skydiving story. Have you been skydiving?
Actually, no.
So skydiving, right? The lead up to it sucks.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's stressing. The car ride there is quiet. You're all hyped up the night before, but the car ride there is just terrible.
Yeah.
And then you get there and no one volunteers to go first. Everyone's like, well, I mean, you go first. And finally you get up there and you're terrified because you're in this rickety old airplane. You get all the way to the top and then they're like 1, 2, and they throw you out on 2 because everyone grabs onto the rails at 3. So they throw you out on 2. And when you're in peak danger and you're literally supposed to be the most scared, all you feel is just bliss. You just feel pure happiness. You start laughing hysterically. You start smiling. And why did you have this fear for 24 hours or 3 days, however long you planned it? And then all of a sudden on the other side of it becomes this great moment for you. And I think that's just so true in so many areas of our life.
Yeah, it is.
It's just so true.
You know, that same anticipation it's linked to also addiction. Like, that's where a lot of people get a dopamine is the anticipation prior to doing something. Even the act of doing something, whether it's smoking, looking at porn, whatever it is, it's the anticipation. So it's same thing on this side, on the the negative side of fear. It's the anticipation. Once you just take action, get in there, you're good. Yeah.
And it's crazy you bring up like the addiction thing, because I've helped a lot of people get off like the vape sticks. Helped a lot of people quit weed.
That's awesome, man.
A lot of people kick porn. And I've helped a lot of people just kick these addictions because they limit their ability to succeed in sales. They just limit them. And one of the ways that I explain it is like, look, let's imagine that, I hope our audience can handle this, but let's imagine that you're out of your vape pen, like your nicotine stick is gone and the store at the smoke shop doesn't open until 10 a.m. From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., you're hitting all the old ones in your house. You're like trying to find that fix. But as soon as it's 10 a.m. and you get in your car to go there, you're like giddy. You're playing your favorite song. You're so excited. Like, or the plug just opened up. The plug said, yo, come through. All of a sudden you have this like giddy excitement. Well, why not live like that all the time? Why not create these moments for yourself, these chasing moments where you're in that position where you're in the car and going towards something you want to get in other areas? Because if you could apply that same energy in a positive direction, you can become an unstoppable force.
Oh, agreed, man. When you can, chase the dopamine from achievement. That's when it's a game, and the most successful business people see business as a game.
It's the game, in my opinion. There's lots of games and that is the game.
It is the game. Speaking of that, I was a big video game addict, and a lot of people don't know this about me. Big video game guy. And it's the same thing, man. I've just channeled all that passion into like progress. It was these genre of games where it's like character progression. Like World of Warcraft.
Like achievement. You loved achievement.
Achievement. And so I just funneled that same passion and energy into life. And accomplishing and winning in business.
Dude, that's so powerful because you can connect with some kids. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that struggle with video game addiction.
So many, man. And it just needs to be channeled. And you can, it just has to be channeled.
And it's short release dopamine. You want the long release dopamine. You want like that's why I set 10-year goals for myself. That's why I set, like year. And then I bring them in front of my face. I look at them every day and I'm like, oh yeah, buddy. Like you probably did with, your games is you would look at like the best players and you would see their outfit or their skin or whatever they had that you wanted. And you're like, oh, and you'd look at it every day and become obsessed with it, even though it was probably a year away from you being able to accomplish that. That got you excited looking at it every day and becoming obsessed with where you were going long-term, that you would make those short-term compromises, not join your family for dinner, stay up late, like you would do all these things.
2 a.m.
3 a.m. Imagine staying up till 2 a.m. now.
Oh, dude, there's not a chance.
Not a chance, dude. We're out by 9 p.m., I'm sure.
9:30.
Yeah, most high performers are asleep by 9:30 because there ain't nothing good that happens after 10.
Nope.
Nothing good is out there.
Dude. Yeah, it's that concept of beginning with the end in mind and having a clear vision for yourself. And you start manifesting and walking into that. And it's the same game, literally same game that we're talking about. So I love that. You mentioned the 10-year versus 1 year. It's people overestimate how much they can do in 1 year. But they drastically underestimate how much they can do in 10.
Dude, it's so crazy.
And when you start thinking about who you can become in 10 years, you should be completely different. And if you you should set very lofty goals for yourself in 10 years. And it's the reality is it's not a linear game. No. True success and growth, not even take success out of it. There's so many misconceptions on the word success for people, but take growth. Growth is supposed to be compounding. Exponential, not linear. And that means, you're doubling, tripling, quadrupling, whatever your factor is. And this goes back to personal development. Why I go back to it is because if you're making $100K a year, don't invest in real estate. No, not invest in yourself. Go learn how to make $250K. Okay. And then you can, at that point, go do real estate or keep playing the game.
Keep playing it.
Do what you and I do. Go spend 15 grand to get front row. Look at the connection. you got to have balls. You got to take a gamble on
You have
yourself.
to.
Sometimes you need somebody to tell yourself that you got it. You have the potential.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of my passion, man, is just igniting that fire in guys and saying,
Yep.
hey, dude, you have it. Like,
Yeah.
look, I was lower than low for my divorce, everything I went through,
Yeah.
and single dad of 3.
Oh man.
And you can relate, but with 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but go all in you.
Yep.
And then, we always talk about the power of storytelling in sales, right?
Oh man.
You're a phenomenal storyteller.
It's perfect.
But if you can start seeing the story for yourself,
Yeah.
okay, this is the beauty of pain and discipline and hardship, is you can see the other side.
Yep.
And then that adds a relatability side to you where people can connect. They just,
Yeah.
instead of looking out at you on this pedestal of like, oh, wow, he's just got everything made.
No.
Oh, dude, look where I came from.
Yeah.
So you get the relatability aspect and you can see that for yourself. You start manifesting great things in your life, attracting great people,
Yeah, man.
taking gambles on yourself. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, sales is, we talk about enthusiasm, energy. It's a transfer of enthusiasm. This is like the highest frequency of vibration and attraction.
Dude, you've got to be invested in yourself.
Yeah.
I love that you said not to invest in real estate until you're at, a couple $100,000 a year.
Yeah, dude, I met a guy who's making $50K talking about invest. I'm like, I appreciate your ambition to do that, bro.
What are
But
you doing, man? Like, I own real estate, right?
Mhm.
And I have ran laps around my equity increase.
Yeah.
Ran laps around it.
Oh yeah.
My house right here in Lehigh has gone from a $212,000 to $390,000. I have made way more than that in the past 8 years.
Yeah.
Way more than that.
Yeah.
Because I invested in myself.
Exactly.
I was literally making $150,000 a year, go to a Tony Robbins event, pay $3K for a ticket. And there was an offer at the end. Hey, spend 10 grand to come with me to Fiji. Dude, I had a 10K credit card that had 0 balance on it. And I was like, you know what? Swipe that thing, baby. I swiped it. And I remember out of 3,000 people in the crowd, there's 11 of us on stage, Nick. 11 of us. And I look around and I'm like, I will always be the person that pays to get on stages like this.
Yep.
Where other people are in the same mindset I am, where they're willing to swipe a card and get onto stage to meet Tony Robbins, this giant behemoth, just to get a handshake in 5 minutes of his time.
Dude, so for me, it was this exact same thing.
Yeah.
And Tony Robbins' mentor, Chris Crone, he was in his network, and that's who mentored me.
Oh, okay.
Ran an event, same thing. Offer was $20,000.
Yeah.
I got up on stage, said, take the money.
Yeah. Take
and
it.
That has by far had the largest, compounding impact
100%,
on my life.
man.
And so I like when I could pay for events for my people.
Yeah.
I make them pay.
Yeah.
I make them pay because of that law of the buy-in.
You have to.
You pay attention.
Yeah.
Same concept. We see the high ticket clients. They're just so easy to work with. They crush it. They get it.
Way easier.
Yeah.
If you give someone something for free, they treat it like that.
Yeah.
But every time I've paid $10,000 to go on stage, I acted like it was $1 million investment. I like to look at it like a treasure map, right?
Yeah.
If I knew all the details of what I was going to receive, like this is with my sales course and any course business that I manage, I don't tell them the details of what they get. It's kind of like if I gave you a treasure map and I said at the end, you're going to get $100,000 cash, but along the way, you're going to go through some crazy times. If I told you where every stop was at the beginning of the journey, and I told you, hey, here, you've got to stop at JCW, you've got to get this gift. You've got to go here, you've got to get this, you got to get this, and say no to that person. I take away the magic, and you might miss meeting your wife along that journey. You might miss meeting that person that you don't even need the $100,000 at the end of the treasure map anymore because you found it on module 3. And you found it on module 3. I don't even need the rest of the course, Brandon. I found it. Nice. But if you pitch the details of something, you take that magic away. Yeah. I almost think ambiguity is better than detail. Like
yeah.
Like if I give someone the details to my course, they're like, well, Brandon, you said, I was going to be this awesome salesperson at the end. Whereas if I'm just like, dude, this is going to change your life. Yeah. They go through it and they're like, bro, video 3, man, I cried my eyes out. And I'm like, yes. But if I tell them the details behind it, it takes away the magic. Like Christmas morning, if we knew what was under the Christmas tree, wouldn't be excited. Yeah. But it's the surprise and the allure of like, is that an iPad? Like, is that the yo-yo I wanted? Is that this and that? It's that excitement, which just gets us up at 5 a.m. on Christmas morning. And then we sleep in on the 26th because we don't have that excitement anymore. Yeah. I think personal development makes people wake up like it's Christmas morning every morning. Yeah. Personal development and then having something you are chasing. Yeah. That's bigger than yourself. Yeah. And it could be growing the business. It could be the impact around that. Yep. You've been able to take so many businesses and scale them. Yeah. And you get a little piece of that and it's a win-win. Yep.
And I mean, what a great thing, dude. What a cool thing. I want to hit on your sales process. You said
Okay.
you have a 5-step phone sales process.
Yeah. So it's pretty basic.
Okay.
It's an introduction, and I use a little bit of like, Jordan Belfort here. I don't really resonate with all of his life.
Yeah.
But he does have a great point
Straight
at the
line
beginning.
system.
Yeah. He's got a great point at the beginning where you want to strike on 3 things. You want to come across as an expert in your field. You want to be as enthusiastic as hell.
Yep.
And you want to be sharp as a tack. So teaching people the why behind an intro is important, is what I focus on.
Nice.
So why do you need to come across as an expert? Why do you need to come across enthusiastic? Why? Focus on the why, and the how becomes irrelevant.
Yep.
Then I go into a profile. And a profile is where I just get them into I ask, they answer tonality. I simply state some of the facts that we have from their opt-in or their survey that they filled out. Hey, it looks here like your last name is spelled S-E, not E-S. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, it also looks like you're from Utah. Oh, how cool. And I'm just getting them into this. I ask a question. They say yes. Hey, it looks like the best phone number on file is 7206. Is that right? They say yes. And then I go into a big claim. The big claim is to really set the hook. And the big claim has to be custom, has to be from the previous minute and a half of the conversation. You have to make it custom tailored like a suit. You wouldn't go bass fishing with deep sea fishing material. So you take your bass fishing pole and you catch the bass. You lay out a nice worm and you set that hook nice. The big claim is tailored to them. And then in the big claim is something called the upfront commitment. Upfront commitment. Hey, I'm going to offer you something today. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever heard before. And I am looking for a yes or no at the end of the call. Is that fair enough?
Nice.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Okay, before I dive in, then I go into the discovery. The discovery is where I'm just doing my fact finding. I'm asking some simple questions.
What happens if they say no real quick on that part? Because that's halfway through.
Yeah, I'm okay to shut down a phone call.
Yeah.
I look at some will, some won't. So what?
Yeah. What percent do you think are usually okay with that?
About 90.
Look at that.
If you do it right.
Yeah, if you do it right.
If you've got the right I ask, they answer. And it's not what I say, it's how I say it.
Yep.
So it's like, is that fair enough? Like it's very assumptive.
Yeah.
It's not, well, would you be okay if I ask you a bunch of questions right now and have you fill out a 15-minute survey?
Yeah.
Dude, no.
Yeah.
But look, hey, I'm going to poke around a little bit, find out where you are right now, and then really build a recommendation to get you where you want to go. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, go ahead. What do you got? And then I ask some simple, basic questions, and I go 7 levels deep. I'm really asking like 3 primary questions. Then I dive till I find the gold. And then I go into the presentation. The presentation is where I do my tie downs, I do my temp checks, see if everything's making sense. Okay. And then obviously you get to a close. I slow down here. I go half the speed, half the words, half the volume. I believe that people don't buy on the phone for 2 reasons. They don't either trust you or they're confused by you. I think people like you and me, it's very easy to build trust. Yeah. But if we talk too fast or we talk too loud, we might confuse them on the numbers, which is the most important part of getting the close done. So I slow down a lot on my close, and I really want them, like, especially if I'm on a phone call, I want them leaning in. Okay. So I almost whisper to them. I'm like, so yeah, it would be normally $12,000 to get something like this set up. But today I've got it for just $99. Nice. And they're like, I'm sorry, what was that? Yeah. I said $99. That's it. Like, nice. And then I just kind of, silence is very key. Yep. So it's like first person to speak loses. And if you whisper and they have to say, did you say 90? You won, it's like, give them a reason to speak first. I like it. Don't confuse them, but whisper and slow down in the close process. Nice. And that's it. It's very simple. Takes 20 minutes to get to the money. I say money in 20, and you can crank deals. If you work an 8-hour shift, imagine how many presentations you can get to. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, that's the thing that lures me in with, virtual and phone sales is the volume game. Yeah. How do you? Thanks for sharing the process. Of course, that's all for free. So talking about phone sales, like the schedule, you can do more volume. Yeah. How do you control that? Because let's say, what's the typical sit rate for an industry you're training? So it depends. Like if you're talking conversion rate, like close rate. No, just sit rate. Like you have 8 appointments on the calendar. How many show? It depends on how good your confirmation system is. Okay. If you have, we have appointment confirmers that'll confirm, and then we have automated systems behind it. And then we have the closer in a group message with the appointment confirmer. There's a lot of steps we take to make sure appointments show. We shoot for an 80% show rate. Nice. So bad for you guys would be 20%. Okay. So yeah. It'd be pull the brakes. Yeah. Stop running ads. Okay. Something's wrong. Okay. But 30%, 40% were like, okay, we want to improve, but not terrible. Yeah. Anything less than 50, I raise the red flag. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's what anything less than 50%, especially if you're spending like $150 a sit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's painful.
Dude, you're burning money.
Yeah.
There's $600 if you got 6 on the calendar for the day, or 8 on the calendar for the day.
Okay.
You know, you're just burning money. And I'm a person that's like chief revenue officer. I'm trying to make your profit margins go high.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get your numbers up.
Yeah, this is a big issue, is people having appointments show up. A lot of companies don't know how to do this.
Well, a lot of people will schedule them out too far too.
Okay.
Like I don't give anything more than I like same days.
Yeah.
If you're going out 48, 72 hours, I mean, you're dropping, and people do 2 weeks out. I'm like, dude, that's
nuts.
Red flag again.
So same day for first shot, second option.
Yeah, man. I've got an appointment setter that'll call. They'll call cold leads, or they'll call warm leads that opted in. They'll call them. They'll pre-qualify a little bit, get into rapport. They'll get that appointment set that day.
Nice.
Hey, you know what? This is kind of crazy, Nick. I've actually got an appointment. Typically, we're 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. Our calendars are jam-packed. But I have someone that's available today at 4 p.m. Or you could take a 6 p.m. slot. Which one would work better for you? And it's always a this or that.
Yeah.
That appointment setter sets the appointment. They get into our automated system, and then the appointment setter puts them in a group message with the closer. And the closer responds right away with either a selfie video that's pre-recorded, or they send back live text. But they always send a pre-recorded selfie video.
Pre-recorded smart.
Dude,
yeah.
So, and you just have that in your saved files.
Nice.
You know, and then you put in your notes, you have like 12 different responses, and you just kind of, it can be something that doesn't even take away from your day. I can be in a presentation with you and be sending an automated video within 3 seconds. I love success, love speed. Yeah. We know that. And people that have delayed response times, especially when I'm like looking to close them on one of my offers, or I'm looking to do something, dude, the last thing I would want to do is help them scale their own business where their customers and their clients are going to get delayed responses.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so massive with the virtual world. I think this is, I've even struggled with this. Yeah. So I've just hired more people to help solve the issue.
You know, we all have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
I'm just as busy as the next guy. I'm in 7 Telegram chats. I'm in 6 Slack chats. Like, dude, I'm a busy guy, but I have people that handle as if they are me during my day to day when I'm in something like this. Like, you know, you saw I've got 3 sales guys out in the lobby right now. Yeah. I guarantee they're responding to any message that they see that's coming to me.
Nice.
Hey, Brandon's busy right now. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. What can we do? Nice. Yep. Love that, man. Okay. So once you get them on the call, what were we talking? We're talking about the calls and selling virtually.
Yeah. So you said appointments. What's the show rate look like? So 80% solid.
Okay. 50% is kind of average, you know.
Anything less than that, let's clean something up.
So typically, how long do you recommend running a good appointment to close?
So I set my guys for 30-minute windows.
Okay.
I put them in 30-minute windows because I want to create urgency. Okay. I want them having 12 on their calendar for the day.
Nice. And is that like a 2-touch close, or is that
it's a 1-touch close?
1 touch. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
1-touch close. And when, let's say their appointment is a deal and they smell blood in the water, then they take that next appointment and they reassign it to another closer, or they push it back down to their setter to reschedule and put it on for a later time. Okay. Someone's in a live hot deal and there's blood in the water, they smell it. Dude, stay in the deal.
Yeah.
Stay in it 90 minutes if it takes you that long, but 30 minutes to get to know if that person's a deal or not.
Nice.
And then after that, whatever's on your calendar for the rest of the day, move it around.
Yeah. Do you tell I give my sales calls like anything on my schedule a 2-hour window.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Nick could be here anytime between 2 and 4.
Okay.
Just be ready.
Yeah, that's solid.
You guys do something like that just in case that happens, or just reschedule?
I just put 30-minute windows, and then I give them a 15-minute buffer time in between. Yeah. So they've really got a 45-minute window to get this deal from paperwork, onboarded, closed, and into the next step.
Nice.
And then they're into the next one within 45 minutes.
What's your go-to SOP for the guys if somebody no-shows or reschedules?
They're outbound.
Outbound?
They got to put something else on their calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, they're calling any of their follow-ups.
Okay.
They're tapping anything from past deals that might have closed. Like, dude, their job is to stay in the money.
Okay.
Stay in the money for 6 hours a day for 12 months. I'll put $250,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
You got to stay in the deal for 6 hours a day.
What do you give them KPIs to measure the success?
Yeah. Close rates. What's your show rate look like? Do you need to manage your unit better? Because I put them in units, right? So their appointment setter, their appointment confirmer are a unit. They're a cluster.
Okay.
And if there's something wrong with their cluster, I pull them in, give them a little spank on the butt, or I put a carrot in front of them.
So you got 3. You got appointment setter, appointment confirmer, and closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. 3 people make up a unit.
Nice.
And that cluster they're responsible for all of their KPIs.
What's the appointment confirmer do?
Their job is to make sure that it shows.
Well, yeah, but like when do they text them? And
they text them the night before, the day of, 10 minutes before, 5 minutes after, 1 minute before.
I've seen a lot of people be concerned about confirming appointments.
Yeah.
I have personally believed, don't be a puss.
Yeah.
Like, what are you afraid of? Confirm it.
Confirm it.
Your biggest issue is not people telling you no, it's wasting your time.
Yeah.
So if you have a free block on the calendar, I want to know it's free.
Yeah.
I don't want wishy-washy. I want a yes, I want a no. Because
Yeah.
if it's a no, I'm happy. I got more people to schedule with.
Oh, you're going to love this one. So I tell my guys, this is something I want you to take away too. Dude, if a deal ends, it ends on my terms.
Nice.
It ends on my terms.
Yeah.
So if someone's non-responsive to an appointment confirmer, chop them.
Yep. Dude,
they were never going to do the deal anyway.
Yeah. Brandon, this is so real.
Yeah.
It's that sense of not just you feeling in control.
Yeah.
But I always say that you have the keys.
Yeah.
Because a good salesperson, a good company has keys to transform someone, an individual, a family, a business.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have that, you should be behind a product. You have that kind of passion and conviction.
Yes. Agreed.
And when that's the case, when people can't take it serious, I agree. Push them away. Say, I don't have time. Sorry. I've got other people that I need to put my time into.
Yep.
Like I'm a busy guy with how much I know about my space and my industry. You're lucky to be talking to me.
You are. You're lucky.
Yeah.
And it's like this. What happens with salespeople is they get commission breath, right?
Yeah,
We've all heard that term.
Oh, dude.
But imagine if I gave every sales rep a guaranteed $250,000 a year salary, and all they had to do is show up to their job and take calls all day. Dude, would they care if they had no's?
Yeah.
They would roll off their back.
Dude, you know what's funny? I literally just started doing this with one of my guys where I pulled the commission and just started paying him. I'm like, dude, just go do. I got the system down.
Go do it.
I said, do this, do that, talk to this many people, knock this many doors.
Yep.
And sure enough, he went from like 0 to 100 like that. Outsold like really good guys.
Yeah.
With zero experience.
Because he wasn't caring about the nose.
Yeah, it's carefree. It's just it's the pressure.
He was willing to chop people.
Yeah.
And when you're willing to chop people,
it's amazing.
Dude,
you start hitting a new level of momentum.
You hit a new level.
Confidence.
All-time confidence.
Yeah. And I always talk about this of the power of being overbooked.
Yeah.
Which comes from working your ass off.
Yeah.
Or having big pockets to stash leads on your calendar. Because when you have too many, you have 12 for you guys. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you know the game.
Yeah.
It's the same for me. You know, a typical guy in our industry goes for 4. I go for 6 to 8.
Yep.
I want to be so busy where I'm telling the client, I don't have time. I'm not trying to be a dick, but you know, I've got to pick and choose. If you guys want to take this serious, great. If not, I'm okay with that. I'll walk. Yeah. And then I'll also I set the standard within the first 5 minutes. I know if I'm getting the deal. Yeah. And I say, hey, look, I'm happy to help you. Yeah. You know, if you want to argue I know the key objections, I hit it early.
You have to, man. Clear them out of the way before they come up.
Yeah. Yeah. If they beat you to it, you lose. If you beat them to it, you win trust. Yep. And it's a win-win. I mean, think of it. If I'm getting sold something, I'm like, hit me with all the shit fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
What's the reason my Tesla sucks? Tell me that first.
Tell me that first. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we can.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah, price is high. I got it.
Yeah.
You know?
We're good. We're good.
I bought my first one in 2017. They were way overpriced. Yeah. I saw the one Elon Musk interview on Joe Rogan where he hit the blunt. I was like, dude, sign me up for 2 of them. I need them. I want one in my life. He says it's the most fun car ever to drive. He says the mileage is inaccurate. He says, you know, he talks all the negative points, baby negatives. Yeah. And I teach my guys in the discovery process, when you're in your 15-minute window of just asking questions, you ask these guided questions that are like heat-seeking missiles that are so assumptive and also putting them in a group. So what you do with this is like, dude, a lot of the reason that clients won't do this is they'll say, oh, you know what? I don't have the time. But what we found through this, and I go into this. So let me ask you this. What time would you set aside to go through a 16-hour course? Nice. When would you do it on Saturdays? And if it was something you could download, do you think you would watch it while you're on the road?
Look at that. That's a great
question. And I
question.
Clear all their objections before they come up. Yep. I wouldn't have the time. Or the wife objection. You know, we all know the wife objection is going to come up. Look, you seem like a really happily married guy, Nick. I guarantee that you and your wife talk about everything. If you're like most men, you probably already mentioned this at breakfast that you have a meeting at 2:00 today, right? Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. So you and your wife have already talked to, if everything makes sense, you guys are moving forward, right?
Yeah. Nice.
I'm taking that objection away. Yeah. Yeah. And then I have these remember when you said statements. So at the end of the call, when they're like, well, you know, I really have to talk to my wife. Well, Nick, buddy, remember when you said?
Yeah, you call them out. It's accountability.
Dude,
you should hold them to it.
Confrontation is one of the things. The more difficult the questions a salesperson is willing to ask, I can already tell how much bankroll they have. Yeah. The more difficult questions, I'm willing to ask some tough questions. Dude.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's powerful, like being the one in control, but not like demanding or arrogant or pushy or, you know, but you can still be confident and tell them like, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what I do. You know, if this isn't for you, great. I'm happy. Like, you know, with our product that we do with solar on the solar side, I say, hey, look, I'm not the bigger loser. I'm not the one paying your utility bill, Mr. Prospect.
Right.
Love you, but if you don't do this, I don't have panels in my car. We didn't do anything to, don't worry.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one paying your utility bill.
Right.
Now, if you like inflation, stick with what you're doing.
Yep.
But if you like the idea of not raising your rates, I'm the guy to help. Now, I don't want to get hopes up, pull back. Here's what I'm here to do. We got to, here's a couple of things that might disqualify you right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I'll hit those, and then I'll basically hedge all the objections. Game over. Done.
Well, dude, and this comes I love bringing it all back to personal development, right? Like the more personally developed somebody is, then you have this intention or this sales character you set to yourself. And, I used to write down on my notebook, I am a multiple 6-figure earner, right? And so when I would get on the phone with someone and they would be pushing back, or they would given all these, wiggle room, right? They're giving all these wiggles. And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I get paid multiple 6 figures to talk to clients like yourself. Whether you say yes or no, I still get paid.
I'm good.
I'm going to make it anyway. And it comes with your identity, your sales character identity. What do you believe you're capable of? And I believe more personally developed you are, the more value you can bring to the marketplace.
Correct.
And you're paid directly based on the value you bring to the marketplace. Yep. It's not what you're paid. It's who you become on the journey of getting paid.
Dude, amen. This is what I preach. Jim Rohn taught.
Yeah, man. Jim Rohn's on repeat, bro.
Jim Rohn is on repeat. That's
Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, man. I bought the tapes.
Yes.
I would be working a part-time job and just literally while I was at PacSun, dude, they didn't have wireless headphones back then. That shows my age. But I would have a wire tucked through my shirt, and they all thought it was to talk to the coworkers. Yeah. Dude, I was bumping Les Brown. Dude, I was trying to figure out how to tell stories like Les, bro.
I did the same thing when I did construction before, when I was in my teen years.
Yeah.
And but dude, my car, salespeople spend an astronomical amount of time. I don't know the exact percentage, but I'm almost positive it's over 30% of their time.
Yeah.
Of their working day.
Yeah.
An active field rep. And I turned my car into a audio library.
You have to, man.
And Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar were the two main ones. And it's just foundational. You look at the world of mentorship and personal development and coaching.
Yep.
A lot of it, especially sales, came from those two.
It came from a man.
Yeah. You mentioned another one. Who else?
Earl Nightingale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
He's like Jim Rohn's mentor.
Yeah. Okay.
So he mentored Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn worked in his office, dude, back in the day.
Look at that.
And then you mentioned the car university, right? Turning it into an audio wonderland. One of the biggest blessings that happened to me is in college. I had a 6 CD changer in my Mazda 6. Loved my Mazda 6, dude. And I put 6 CDs of Think and Grow Rich. I was 21 years old, right? And I put it in there. And one time the electrical just went out and it wouldn't eject CDs anymore. So all I had on road trips, when we would lose service and I'd go on snowboard trips, all we had, me and my car full of boys, would be, you want to listen to CD4 or CD6? It's either chapters 4 or chapter 7. Yeah. Which one do you want to go to?
What about the hip hop, bro?
Dude, I'm sorry, man. That's not played here in this car. You can play it on your phone. If you've got a little iPod, play it there. But in my car, it's literally just personal development. Yeah. And then, on the way here, I'm listening to Outliers. I'm at the gym this morning. I'm listening to audio. Everyone else is doing this. And I'm laughing because I'm listening to Outliers. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's it.
You're more intense than me, bro. At the gym, I'm bumping my tunes.
I get it, man. But I think about
on the treadmill or sauna or red light. I'll listen to a podcast.
I think about input as output, though. And I'm like, dude, I really don't want blunts, drinks, and popping bottles in my ear while I'm doing the most difficult thing I'll do all day. Because if I'm in the grind right now, what's easy is to throw on some Snoop, to throw on some Dre, and get yourself in that mindset. But what about while you're doing something so hard and pushing that last rep, it's Outliers going, the difference between hockey players that are born in August versus July? And I'm like, no, tell me. Tell me. I promise I'll get this off. Just tell me the answer.
That's pretty intense, bro.
It's different, man.
That's awesome.
And then I get through I get through 2 books a week.
Okay.
I'm a weirdo, man.
That's pumping.
I read in the morning. I wake up at 4 a.m. I'm sure you have a crazy morning routine too.
4:30. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm up at and everyone says this, right? It's the biggest. Everyone's roasting all these influencers, all these successful people. No, it is true. I'm up at 4.
Yeah.
And I do that so I can spend an hour in the Bible. I spend some time doing some study. I do my prayers. I do my visualizations. And then I start a book. And then I continue that book on Audible. Cheat code, man. I start it physically. Yep. And then I move the rest of my day. I'm listening to it. In between calls, it's what's playing on my TV in my office like this. It's playing on my TV, and I'm just able to get through 2 books a week. And dude, I hated reading growing up, but it was because I didn't find something that was I didn't know the end goal.
Yeah.
And if you knew what reading 2 books a week would do to you in 10 years,
cannot. Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. The information that you can get from other people is just,
Yeah.
you can pay with time, or you can pay with money and,
Yeah.
and investing like this, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, you know, on this, why personal development and why does it actually impact salespeople so much?
Yeah.
Like this is like a very big narrative, and some of my audience may be sick of how many podcasts keep coming out where us just deep diving on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but not sorry.
Right.
Here's why. It's because you're filling your cup, and sales commission breath, looking like and feeling desperate and like a salesperson, is the enemy of a salesperson. And when you bring enough value to yourself and your cup is filled, you are capable of bringing value to other people, and you're good.
Yeah.
You could get told no 100 times, but when you have a morning like this, you've won the day.
Yeah.
That's always my mindset, is I'm going to win the day before, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And whatever comes, let it come. Yeah. I'm ready.
Prepared.
Doesn't mean it's easy.
Yep.
But I filled my cup where my day could end, dude, at 9 a.m.
Yep.
And I'm happy with what I accomplished.
Yeah.
Then you start gaining positive momentum.
Yep.
And that's how you become unstoppable. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
So,
well, they say success is where preparation meets opportunity. Right? Mm-hmm. So your opportunity comes when you sit down for the first time on your first close. Your opportunity comes when someone answers the phone and says hello. Your opportunity is right there. Do you want to prepare in the moment, or do you want to be so prepared before the moment that you can end up being successful because you've hit that convergence?
Nice.
And you've got to hit that convergence. And the more prepared you are, dude, it's like, I don't know, we watch all UFC, right? Volkanovski just got beat.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that Ilya, his opponent, was working harder on preparing for the fight than Volkanovski was. Volk's had all these wins. He's got this resume. Ilya's this up and comer. He doesn't want to lose his, flawless record, and he wants to be champion. That's why it's so hard. I sat down with Kamaru Usman a long time ago at a Lee Height event, and Kamaru said, I would rather be number 2. So when I'm training and I'm in the gym and I'm going through my camp, my belt is gone. I tell don't ever call me champ. I am number 2.
Yeah.
Because it creates a harder workforce than if you're number 1.
Yeah.
So when it comes to personal development and sales, that's our time in the gym.
Yeah.
That's our time in the boxing round. That's our training camp. And the more time you spend here, the better you are out there.
Yeah. Well, dude, this is a fantastic message, Brandon, for top sales performers.
Yeah.
This is where it's unlocked.
Yep.
I've had to learn this the hard way of to not be the smartest, most capable, talented guy in the room.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
Because you're capped.
Yeah.
And so you have to pursue more from people who have accomplished more.
Yeah.
And if you're not growing, you're digressing.
Unfortunately,
there's no neutral ground.
Yep.
And so you got to humble yourself. And I always told people, don't call me the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want like the sales goat. I hate when people say the sales goat guru or let alone God.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's sacrilegious, bro.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah. That's a no. So, but you should never create a culture where people admire that.
No.
I'm like, you can admire my input.
Yeah.
But my output, that's what they're looking at. It's like, dude, forget that.
Yeah.
And that's why I do so well.
Yep.
And so consistent. People talk about this sales coaster.
Oh man.
I'm like, bro, it's a straight line for me because I'm not getting too high on the highs and on the lows. I'm just like, I follow a system. Dude, I'm not attached to the output. I'm focused on input on me, and I know it'll play out.
I mean, this is legitimately why I left timeshare. This right here. They were number 1 rep. All these calls would happen, or we need the best timeshare salesman ever to talk to us. And it's like, then my mentor, my manager is coming to me and being like, you're up right now, but eventually you'll be down, and then you'll be in both places again. And I literally got in like a screaming match with him because I was like, bro, shut up. Don't put that on me. And he's like some 60-year-old dude, worth millions of dollars. And he's telling me, you're going to be up, you're going to be down, you'll be in the same place all over again. I'm like, dude, no, I won't. So my last year there, I set a goal. I was like, look, I want to win every accolade. I want to win this one, that one. There's like 6 different accolades you can win in a year. And I wanted to hit all of them. I hit all of them in a year. And October 31st is when the year ends. I left November 11th. I did everything I possibly could and was like, dude, you're in the wrong pond. If you're the best one in the pond, if you're the biggest fish there, you're in the wrong one. And so it was super risky. Single dad, car payments, house mortgages, 401k, no benefits for me and my kid anymore. And I hung up that hat to go be a small fish amongst all the other online gurus and the online coaches and all the other guys that were doing what I wanted to go do. I was like, well, I definitely won't be the best there, at least not out of the gate. And I was like, I look for moments like that, and other people avoid moments like that.
Yeah, they do.
And I think that's what separates, the goats, if you will, from the lambs.
Yeah.
Is like, dude, they want security.
Yeah.
They want comfortability.
Yep.
And I look at that stuff as an indicator I'm in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The more comfortable you are, like, dude, run away from it.
Yeah. No, I've attached myself to a lifestyle, and that's what we build as a culture of let's do hard things.
Yeah.
And you and I have both been through very hard stuff in our personal life.
Yeah, of course.
And, we've seen the benefits of that. I always say I've grown,
Oh,
decade in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
And so, you have things that are happen to us or happen for us, the perspective. And then you have things that you can actively choose to do. It's the same thing, like doing athletics and competing, pushing yourself, right?
Dude, I want it.
It's a form of, discipline and pain.
Mm-hmm.
But as Jim Rohn says, it's there's two pains in life: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Yep. One is just a little bug bite, and the other is detrimental.
Yeah, detrimental. Yeah.
Yep.
So pay the price now or pay later.
Yeah.
So,
and I'd much rather pay the price of discipline. And it sounds so cliche, but it's like, dude, the pain of regret is heavy.
Yeah.
Like knowing that you left a day without putting everything on the table. I don't know how people sleep at night.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I pass out.
Yeah.
I'm asleep. My wife makes fun of me because like 9 p.m. rolls around and I'm like tucking under the covers, like good night. And I earned that sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I put everything on the table today. I want to be able to go brush my teeth at night and be like, dude, you did it today, man. There's not another thing you could have done. Yeah. I want to live with no regret. Like, oh, fuck, I really should have done that follow-up yesterday. Nope. Did it first thing in the morning. Yeah. I dreaded that follow-up because I knew it was going to be a no, but I just went ahead and just did it. Yeah. Let's just get it out of the way. If it's a no, look, hey, I'll say no to you first. I'd rather just get it out of my system.
I love it. Dude, with regret too, what got me into the sales job and this line of work was actually the fear of regret.
Yeah. Crazy.
And thinking, okay, hey, what if I found out I didn't take this job and I found out a decade later that I was good?
Oh,
that would be painful. Like, imagine what I could have done.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be here where I'm at today, let alone, and I don't look at where I'm at. I look at the trajectory.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm at's great. The trajectory, phenomenal.
Yep.
And that's because I've got on, the jet, so to say.
Yep.
Of what this opportunity, entrepreneurship, sales.
Yeah. I like to look at myself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's what I like to go after. And you mentioned linear versus exponential earlier. Yeah, and I love this concept because I studied engineering in school, and they would talk about the difference between linear lines and exponential lines. And I was explaining this on a sales training recently and was like, everyone was like, Brandon, how do you avoid linear growth, right? Like you say you chase exponential growth. And it's like, well, how do you avoid linear growth? And I was like, well, everyone can change something in their life. There's probably something in your life, and I don't even have to tell you what it is, but there's something in your life that is holding you back. If you stopped doing that, that's linear growth. Congratulations. But if you took that negative thing that you're doing and replaced it with something positive, congratulations, that's exponential growth. Yeah. And then you keep doing that. Yeah. Like, dude, I'm hard pressed to find things in my life that I'm doing where it's like, shouldn't be doing that, B.
Yeah.
I'm hard pressed. So now I'm like, well, okay, where is it? That's like, okay, well, maybe I could wake up an hour earlier, or maybe I could read the Bible more, or maybe I could pray more, or maybe I could just get closer to the real top G, like get closer to some source.
Yeah. It's an amazing mindset, dude.
And that's
very powerful.
Exponential growth versus linear.
That's like an unstoppable mindset right there.
Yeah.
When you can actively pursue hard things and have that perspective of like, bring it,
bring it.
I'm going to accept the challenge. You're unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And that's it's like, people make fun of the cold plunge, like, oh, like you do a cold plunge and it's like, well, it sucks. Yeah, there's not a moment I'm like, I can't wait to do my cold plunge today.
Yeah, no, dude, I intentionally do them with our guys on Friday morning.
Yeah,
because at the end of the week I'm like, I'm not feeling gassed.
Right.
I'm like, it'd be the temptation to not. I'm like,
right.
I like the fact more than the dopamine, more than all the brown fat benefits and the health benefits. We do it, and I tell our people we do it because it's uncomfortable.
Dude,
that's why.
Here's what's crazy, right? And I'm sure you can relate to this, but Some of my best days in sales are the days I wanted to call in sick. Some of my best days I've ever had are the days I wanted to sleep in, or the days I wanted to like, oh, you know what? And I'm in a good spot.
That's
I
amazing. Yeah.
can call into work today.
Yeah.
Dude, those are the days I get the $100,000 deal.
Dude, you know what's
Isn't that wild?
It is. I think for a couple of reasons. One, you're proud of yourself,
yeah,
for doing something hard, but also it just takes off the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It might be part of it of like,
Yeah.
hey, I wasn't even going to
show up today.
So anything I get today is excess. It's
yes, exactly. And it's like that mindset of like, okay, you make a few $100,000 a year guaranteed.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about yeses, nos. It's like, well, there's no risk here. Like I wasn't going to show up anyway. You guys are lucky to even have me here at the office.
Yep.
You perform at a different level.
Yeah, you do.
It's a weird concept, man. So I look for things like that. I'm like, what's something that I don't want to do? Like, oh man, like what's the same analogy to calling in sick? Well, it's raining outside. I don't ever like to go on runs. Where are my running shoes at? It's raining. Yeah. It's cold. I'll come back wet. Yep. Come back wet and miserable. But what's 20 minutes out there versus staying in here and just sitting next to my wife or like cozied up in bed when I could just go, you know what? Just go do it. With no rain jacket. No, just go do this miserable thing. And I end up finding just so much joy on the other side.
Yeah.
Like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, dude, you're crazy, dude. You're crazy, motherfucker. You know that? And I love those moments. Like, look, they say that only the crazy ones that, the crazy ones that believe they can change the world are the ones that are crazy enough to do it.
Yeah.
I'm chasing crazy.
Yeah.
I want to be remembered as like, dude, that dude was weird, man.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, like, I'm a weird dude. I look for things that are painful. I look for things that are uncomfortable. I look for the longer road because I know that that's going to be more joyful.
Yeah. And that's powerful, Brandon, because not everybody, but so many people in our world today are looking for, a get rich quick plan or like, hey, how do I get there faster or easier? Well, you're starting out on the wrong road, my man. Yeah. Like you should be asking like, hey, how can I get a big, output and prize, and I'm willing to pay the price. Like, but tell me the path that's worth, going down.
Well, use this one next time. Okay. I'm sure everyone's done meal prep, right?
Yeah.
You have a meal in the fridge. It's cold. You take it out. You put it in the microwave. 2 minutes, the alarm goes off. You grab it. Sometimes it's still a little cold in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about like your mom's best dinner or grandma's best dinner?
Yeah.
The reason her meatballs were so good is because she started making them 72 hours in advance. It's that preparation. She let the buttermilk chicken marinate. She let it sit in there for 48 hours before she even deep fried it because that's how the flavor gets in there. Would you rather have that microwaved meal or would you rather have a nice marinated grandma's cooking? Yeah. Me personally, I know that one tastes way better. I don't like my meal prep sometimes. Yeah. I'm like, dude, not again, chicken and rice.
Yep.
But I know I looked forward to grandma's cooking. I know I looked forward to it with pleasure. And it's that same concept with the get rich quick. Like, dude, I could give it to you quick. Yeah, sure. Spend 7 days with me and I'll get it to you quick. But it won't be yours.
It's not going to stick. Yeah.
It won't be yours. I can make you $1 million in a year for sure. Follow me around for 365 days. You'll do it. But it's not yours. It's better when it takes you 4 years, 5 years, because then I can't take it back from you. And you won't say, well, he's the reason that I got there.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be yours. And owning your own things is so much better. Like solar panels. Owning your solar panels, owning your utility bill is so much better than renting it from some utility company. Like, dude, they could literally change it at any moment. They could change it on you. Yeah. And why not just take control? If we like control, if we're control freaks, I would never get on a plane where the pilot gets on and he's like, sorry, guys, I'm a little bit out of control today, and you guys are going to want to hold on tight. No, I would get off that plane, dude.
Yeah.
If the guy's like, hey, I've got perfect control. It's going to be a little turbulence today, but I've got us.
Yeah.
Love that pilot.
Yeah.
Hire him as my private pilot, right? Like, I want that dude everywhere. You don't want to be out of control in life either. Be in control.
Yeah.
Take and own that it's going to be a long journey and embrace it. Look forward to it.
Yeah. And we always want, attributes of greatness, patience and discipline. It takes time. It takes hard things.
It does.
And, I think the thing that everybody should be chasing is not just, hey, make 100K a month or 7 figures or, whatever their goal is, 300, 500K, but do it and also improve who you are.
That's it.
And learn the skills along the way where you could hit delete on everything.
Yep.
And you can go get it all back because of who you've become. That's when we've mentioned unstoppable.
Yeah.
And that might be like the theme of unstoppable, like sales performer for this podcast. But that's how you become unstoppable. When everything starts going your way, that's happening for you, developing you,
Yep.
so that you can do it better and learn faster next time.
So I've been in the course business for a long time, and you've got your course business. Okay. I'm going to share something with you. Do you know, like a lot of people will say, it's this like lie, right? Grant Cardone says, well, I was just tired of making so much money by myself. I wanted everyone else to make money too. Now, here's the real reason we create courses. And this is why a lot of top level entrepreneurs create the courses, is because I know that when I spent 25 grand on getting mine filmed, getting it all edited, getting it composed, getting it uploaded and online, I can now hit delete on that information.
Yep.
I can delete it. It's permanent, and I can go read more books.
Yep.
The moment I recorded it and it was done and it was permanent,
yeah.
It was finalized. Dude, I don't need to remember those one-liners anymore.
Yeah.
Gone. Delete them.
Yeah.
Now I can absorb new information.
Like that.
That's why these gurus come out with courses. That's why
just a way to
top
get
level
your information. Yeah.
Dude, get it out there so that you can absorb more.
Well, there's I call this the protege effect. I actually have a video on my course on this. Where we talk about how the fastest way to learning isn't doing.
Yeah.
It's not shadowing. It's not lectures or reading, watching podcasts. It is teaching other people.
Yeah.
When you can teach and do it and take a grand principle and break it down simply.
Yep.
That's how you know you're a master of that space.
100%, man.
And so doing courses, I actually have my guys do the same thing. I have them record their own videos.
Yeah.
I have them, my worst guys, training other guys.
Yeah.
To help take advantage of that protege effect.
Yep. So what do you think it is then? I'm gonna switch it to you on a podcast here. Like, right? They say like those who can't do teach, right? And why like
say that again?
Those who can't do teach, right? And then they also say like, I left college. I was in a very difficult degree. And I remember when I was in my senior year, my last class before I graduated, the lady was like making 60 grand a year in engineering at a top level, college, Cal Poly in California. I was like, dude, if she could go do this and make $250,000 a year, which is what she's promising I can go make as a professional engineer, why isn't she doing it?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, what's
for
your...
her? It's hard to speak on someone else's behalf, but I would imagine it's the fulfillment for her of helping other people find that. And for me, that's actually what gets me excited to teach and share.
Yeah.
And I've always done it even when I was learning. And but there's imposters that try to teach and share to get attention that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But if it's I think here's how you can break it down to know if it's good.
Okay.
Because I hate hypocrisy, right?
Yeah.
And I hate the guys that are trying to teach everything they know. It's like you don't know jack, dude.
Yeah.
But if you can admit like, hey, you're on the path of progress and you're trying to share the little to help improve somebody and admit that you're not the best.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's always going to be well received.
Okay. I like that.
And here's what I've also learned from coaching other people is I haven't always necessarily been a better salesman than them. Most of the time I am, but or more knowledgeable.
Right.
But even if I wasn't, dude, as I've coached, I've realized, hey, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
It's just a different game. And, but it requires, both parties to be coached or taught, and to be the teacher. It requires humility.
Yeah.
And, the student is ready. The teacher appears only when the student's ready.
I agree.
So that requires, is a two-way street.
Yeah.
But I know that's kind of rambling on your question, but does that kind of
it answers
give
it?
You my point of view?
The reason I ask is because obviously, like, I'm in the course business.
Yeah.
Right. I teach, and my motive behind it, I say that it's impact. Right. Like, I want to impact millions of people. I want, when I'm at my funeral, everyone to get up on stage and be like, "That guy changed my life." Like that's what I say. But really, internally, like deep down in my heart, it's because I wanted to give people something I didn't have. I didn't have all of it in one place. I didn't have the personal development tied in with the training.
Yeah.
I had, GC, bless his heart. I give a lot of credit to Grant Cardone on where I'm at, but he didn't really teach a lot of personal development. It was a lot of, here's how to overcome an objection. Yeah. Here's how. Never the why.
Yeah, dude, this is what I hit on. I actually have a video on this. Why, the why, if your why's big enough, you figure out the how and the what.
Yeah, of course.
And it's the bullseye.
Yep.
And when you can get people, because I remember going out my first year, and dude, I've always been a top performer.
Yeah.
And I was at very poor education on the industry.
Yeah.
And you see this with a lot of other guys as well. And so you just say, oh, they've got it. They've got the gift to gab.
Yeah.
And but there's more to it, And for me, it was the why of serving people,
Yeah.
impacting. And I think my selfish intent on the courses is I want to free up my time.
Yeah.
I'm very, very cognizant of where my time goes. It's our most valuable asset, and we can't get it back.
Well, it's a way to duplicate ourselves.
Yeah, it's
right. Like, dude, I go into a new offer and I help a guy scale his company up. And now I've got to talk about the intro for 2 hours, or I've got to talk about the big claim and explain, or, hey man, go through my course.
Yes, exactly.
Go through this. And then we can talk on questions you have where we're speaking the same language.
Exactly.
Because without you going through my videos, dude, I got to spend so much time, which I love that you bring up time. I love thinking about it. Like, we're great salespeople, right? We leave our phone at home, our wallets at home, and we pull up to the gas station dead empty. We could go shoulder tap for $20.
Yeah.
We could go get $20 to fill up our tank or put a little gas in to get home. But dude, if we're out of time, or you want 20 more minutes with a loved one that's passed, or you want 20 more minutes when you're on your deathbed, just dude, let me have 20 more minutes so I can see the sunshine one more time. There's nobody in the world that you can shoulder tap to get that time from. Just to give some perspective on how limited of a commodity that really is.
Yeah. This has been huge, getting mentored from Chris and other, very top dogs, Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Is you understand how obsessive they are on time arbitrage.
Oh.
And it's because, as your wealth grows, you realize, okay, hey, that's where everything goes, is my time.
Yeah.
And so for people who don't have a lot of money, they look at people trying to be ambitious, make more money, as greedy.
Yeah.
And I'd say, well, no, because it depends on the person, not always, right? But if the intent is to have more wealth, more abundance, to free time, which for me it is, I better damn well be successful.
Yeah.
And I mean, time and money are two commodities that can be traded for each other through duplication and hiring people and creating opportunity. And so when you start thinking of it that way, wow, it changes your perspective on earnings and money. And earning more commissions, more time to train people, serve people, have a bigger impact. If you don't believe in what you do and what you sell and your life, if you're just a piece of shit and you just bring other people down, please, for the love of all that's holy, don't make more money.
Please don't.
We don't want you to. Keep your limiting beliefs.
Purge effect.
Keep doing what you're doing. I'd encourage you, not just being asked that person, but go work on you.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I could give to that person is, stop pointing fingers and look back at yourself. And how can I improve myself? And that stems from within. If you have a strong conviction of what you do, your life, why you're alive, you will, you won't feel bad about making more money.
Right.
So if you're feeling guilty about making more money, you need to have like a moment of solace and go deep.
And this segues so perfectly into my close to you. A lot of coaches, course creators, or people that want to get into this space of being a guru and building a course and scaling a business, dude, you guys can do it on your own, 100%. Or you can find someone that's put 10,000 hours, not only on the inside, but on the outside of these businesses and leverage their experience, their failures, their understanding of the industry to buy some of your time back. Yes, I'm expensive. I'm a pricey asset to bring into the company, but I give you time back. Dude. And if I can do 80% of your day to day and get you down to a 5 to 10 hour work week, you would pay me $1 million.
Yeah. Amen to that. And do we practice what we preach?
Yeah.
The reason we've developed these skills, have this stuff, is because we've invested hundreds of thousands.
Dude,
of dollars.
I can ask for 100K because I forked over 100K. And that's like part of my close with a client. I'll be speaking to a B2C client, right? And people reach out to me for mentorship. I've got this guy recently that I just set up on a program, and I've charged anywhere from $97 for my course all the way up to $15,000. And I asked the guy, I was like, dude, what's the most you've ever paid for mentorship? He's like, dude, I've paid like $7,500. I've paid $2,500. I added them all up. It was about $14K. I said, all right, man, you're going to pay $15,000 for my course. He's like, well, I thought it was only 5. I'm like, yeah, it is, but you're going to pay 15. Well, why, Brandon? Because now, once you do this transaction, you now have the power to go ask someone for $15K because you've done it.
It's a great
dude. The guy did it, had his biggest month that month, had his first ever $15K paid in full come to him, which he gets 20% on, had his biggest month ever, made his $15K back in less than 40 days, dude, and had never made more than $10K in a month before. And was like, Okay, I get it, Brandon. How can I pay you for the next course?
Dude, the objections that we get stumped on are often the same ones that we don't have the conviction or experience ourselves.
Often the ones we give.
Yeah, it's the ones we give. Like, hey, I can't get over the wife objection. Well, it's because you are stuck in that yourself.
Dude, and that's why, dude, I say yes now and figure the rest out later.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've signed, $25,000 contracts with Grant, not knowing where the money was, bro.
Yeah.
Not knowing where it was, not knowing where it was coming from. Just asked, hey, can we post date this a week? I'm down to sign it now.
Yeah.
I'll sign it right this moment. Just let me post date it for like 48 hours so I can just go find the money. The last thing I would want to do is say, yeah, send me the contract. I'll sign it in 48 hours. No, sign it now. Say yes now.
Yep.
And then I'll just figure it out.
Yep. He teaches that principle, dude.
Yeah.
But it's no surprise that he does, and he's had such a career in sales.
That's why.
Because it's the same thing. Like you and him can now ask for the close.
Yes.
And say, figure it out, dude. Like, you understand the value of this. Like, here's where you're at.
Yep.
Here's where you want to be. Here's the gap. Here's, the difference. Yep. And you're saying you can't?
Yeah.
You can't not, dude. Give me the yes. Go find the way.
Yep.
You'll figure it out.
Dude, I had a 7-minute phone call with a coaching business for the very first time. One that Grant Cardone recommended to me. I'll plug it. It's Scientology. Okay. So I had my first ever conversation with a rep from Scientology. 7 minutes later, I wired them $35,000. Wow. Within 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
This is 2018.
But it was a referral. Like, he told you to go there.
He's like, yo, go here.
Okay, so
I'm going to have my guy call you. He's going to call you. I didn't know the price.
Right.
But I did that solely so that now, I've collected 60 grand in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I've collected big checks in less than 7 minutes because I have the confidence to go to ask for it and be like, look, no, you're going to do this.
Yeah.
Only because I've given myself permission to ask for those lump sums of money because I did it in my own life.
Yeah.
Without doing that in my own life, dude, you're a fraud.
Yep, you are a fraud.
You're a hypocrite.
It's lack of integrity. If you are trying to ask people to do something that you don't do or you haven't done.
Come on, man. Tell them, Nick.
Oh, yeah. You are a hypocrite, and there's a reason you're not succeeding in your job.
100%.
And then you're blaming the industry of sales or that you're not good at sales. It's not that you're not good at sales or people. You don't have internal conviction because you haven't done. You're a hypocrite.
Dude, the wife objection, you mentioned that one.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I consider myself the greatest closer. I know that there's nothing that I can't close my wife on. Not a single thing on this planet. I can close her on it.
Yeah.
So when someone gives me the wife objection,
it's like, dude, you don't have,
I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah.
You really need my program.
Yeah.
You really need some sales course game.
I love
you
that.
really need to get better at closing because, bro, I could go home and just drop $500 on the table and be like, honey, this is for you. Now let me tell you what I did and why you're receiving this right now. Let me explain the details because before you take that off the table, there's some parameters.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, it's not even manipulative to say, like, if you have a relationship where you trust that person and they fully trust you,
dude,
like why do you feel like you need that justification?
You don't.
Yeah. So now if there's a relationship where they have zero trust in it, then hey,
you really need my personal development now.
You really need it. Yeah.
Yeah. You really need it at this point.
Yeah. 100%.
You need a co-pilot.
Yep.
You need someone that's in full support. I mean, I can let her know, hey, just got, word I have to be in Miami tomorrow. And we've got 2 kids, she has to run the whole house while I'm gone, 2 pets. And it's like, 10 PM and we're laying down for bed. And I like get the text. It's like, yo, I need you in Miami at 9 AM tomorrow. And it's like, say yes, honey. I love you so much, but I need to show an example to you and the kids that I go get it done.
Nice.
And this is how I'm going to go get it done. I have to leave at 9 AM. I'll be home by 9 PM. It's a 60-minute flight. I will book a same day there and back, and I'll be home in time to tuck the kids in. And it's that type of energy that not only she respects and admires, but then she now gives me. And it's like, honey, go. Go do it. I trust that anything you do is going to be worth it for our household. And then vice versa.
Yeah.
It's like this, dude, you've got to have that confidence in yourself so much that you're making the right decisions, that everyone around you will just support them and enable it because they trust that you know where you're going.
Yeah.
And it comes from like, dude, I've got a great relationship with God. Like, I follow him, everybody else follows me. And I think that he's got this like yellow brick road laid for me, man. And he's just like laying the stones as I'm walking down the ground. And it's like, dude, yes, follow me. Yeah. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Come with me. And that's why, I have over like 260 sales guys that work under my management, and they trust everything I say.
Well, Brandon, the reason is because you trust what you say.
That's it.
For people, here's where they go wrong is they set a goal or they tell themselves it's integrity. It's an integrity issue. And not just, hey, doing the right thing when nobody's looking, but when you say you're going to do something, you better damn well do it. You say you're going to do 100K and you fall short and do 80K. You don't trust yourself enough.
Yeah.
Why is your spouse, why are your coworkers, or let alone people you hire, supposed to trust you?
We're getting the heat out now, man. We're getting the heat.
So dude, I get fired up with this.
Yeah.
This is when goal setting becomes very serious.
I want to be around that. Proximity's power.
Yep. Become
the power that people want to be in proximity of.
Dude, I think some people try going to leadership too fast.
Oh.
They need to scale back, dial in on themselves to become the person or woman that attracts that. And it happens organically.
Well, dude, they say the best leaders are the best followers, right?
Yeah.
There's not a Jim Rohn audio you can find I haven't fucking heard or seen.
Yeah.
There's not a Grant Cardone video that you can bring up, whether it's YouTube or any other facet, that I have not obsessively watched.
And dude, same with me. And there's a lot of stuff I don't like with Cardone.
Yeah.
I've still listened to everything.
Yeah, man. There's a reason I own where other people want to live and I rent where I live. There's a reason I do that. And it's GC Tommy. Multiple times I've lived in places I own, and somehow or another, I have gotten a deal where someone wants to rent it, or something has come up where I need to move cross country, and all of a sudden now it's an extra property. Like, I've tried to not listen to GC, but I continuously fall into this, like, okay, man, that shit got in my subconscious, man. And it's anytime I'm out of that alignment, something comes up where it's like, hey, B, we need you over here. You're about to move to Florida, and you got to leave that property behind. And it's time for you to go move within 2 weeks. You've got to move, and good luck finding a mortgage in 2 weeks. Like, get and rent where you used to live. It's time to get out of there. So, I think that a lot of people rush into leadership, and I tell them this all the time. Like, dude, earn your resume, earn it, become the best sales rep somewhere. Like, I mentioned my leaving Wyndham, dude. If I wouldn't have hit every accolade that year, I would have done another year. I was like, okay, Brandon, you're going to hit Wyndham Championship, President's Council. You're going to be top rep. You're going to hit Ruby. You're going to hit this. You're going to hit all of these accolades, and then you can hang your hat up. And if I'd have came up short, man, I would have stayed another year. And it's not because, I have to, the security, the confidence, the comfort. It's nah, man, I'm a man of my word. Yeah. I'm not leaving this building until I did everything that you guys could have for me. Yeah. I'll even work for free for a year just to hit these accolades again. Like, I'm making that, I'm following through on the word I set for myself.
Love that, dude. I tell this to our people where, you mentioned power and proximity.
Yeah.
I'm a very big believer in that. And you have to spend money to get around higher level proximity.
Oh, 100%.
You can have a team that can pull you up if you're pretty low or average, right? But once you get to the point, you have to outsource, which usually requires capital to get those level minds, right?
Yeah.
And to get proximity to those people. But when you find people that you can work alongside that have this, I'd say not just success, but trajectory.
Yes.
You see them doing things like what you and I are doing, taking massive action. And I think those are people that you want to latch onto.
Yeah.
I say it's like a rocket. The rocket's going to the moon. If you can latch on, you're going to go pretty damn far.
Yeah. Latch on, man.
Yeah.
Get around people that are on that trajectory. I like that a lot because I tell people get around successful people, but it's more so get around that vibe of people that are moving. And
you'll know those people, they're very particular who's in their environment. And you'll probably have to provide value to them.
Value to value.
If it's just like, hey, mentor me. It's like, dude, I love you, but you're not worth the time right now.
Yeah.
And so you have to come, if those people will expect, some kind of value from you. And so that's how you know they're going somewhere.
Well, it's this saying, it's value to value or you devalue. So like, that's why I was always down. Like, I recently was at Grant's office for 3 hours, just training some of his sales guys and hosting my own sales training there. And then gave him some money, cause I was like, here's some cash. This is like, dude, value to value or I devalue. And I'm not trying to devalue this relationship. And I'm definitely not trying to get devalued on my side. Yeah. So people come to you and ask for mentorship. It's like, then, if you can't afford to buy my course or buy my time, then dude, come clean my office or come intern for me or come provide value to me in some way until I'm ready to exchange that value back. Or you devalue me and you devalue yourself. Yeah. you have to be value to value.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
It's
Dude,
powerful, man.
This is so gold.
It's good, man.
Dude, we could rip all day.
I think so. I don't even know what the timer's at, but we're probably over time.
Yeah, no, this is great. Brandon, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Our audience is very privileged to have you on.
I appreciate that, man.
All right, guys. So we are going to get you guys an offer after we've been podcasting. We had a crazy idea here. So Brandon has BSJ, his course.
Yeah. So he twisted my rubber arm. I have a sales course. It's called MSP, My Sales Process. It is about 6.5 hours long. It's 55 modules. Nick said, look, dude, I love your energy. I love your vibe.
Yeah.
Let's give it to our tribe.
Yeah.
And let's do it at a home run price. So some of y'all that are watching this that know me and have bought from me, or some of you guys that are currently on my sales team, cover your ears right now. And Nick and I are going to team up. He's going to provide his program, which is about the same time length. I'm going to provide my program.
So for $6,200 combined.
Yeah, my price I charge $5,000 for.
Yeah.
And he charges a massive amount for his as well.
Yeah.
You're going to get all of that for
$197.
$197. You've got to hit
$197 a month.
$197 a month.
Yeah.
You've got to hit the link within 30 days of the podcast being released, and you've got to use a discount code.
Yeah.
What do you want to roll it out as?
Let's we'll do BSNN.
Okay.
BSNN 7.
BSNN7 gets you $197 a month for $6,200 of value.
Yeah.
And
that's big.
You will not regret it. I can attest.
If this hit you like 1 ounce, this podcast hit you 1 ounce, trust me.
Yeah.
I know the stuff I have alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to get on this.
Trust it. Yeah. And Nick's going to get me back on how we discount this so high. And
we'll figure out that on the back end.
We will figure that out on the back end. Just know that Nick is going to pay for this. And I'm excited to do it, man. I love just providing value, as you can tell just from this moment that we've met.
Yeah.
And I believe that lowering that price threshold allows that person that might just be a little bit trapped by the financial moment that they're in to be able to push themselves and extend themselves. Hopefully it's hurting you, because I know the more it hurts, the more you'll pay attention.
Yep.
So treat it like you guys just paid the $6,200 value for it, and it'll pay you like that.
I love that.
Okay.
I'm excited. A little nervous, but excited for you guys. That's awesome.
Cool.
Love it, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
Nick, thank you, man.
Love it, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it.